Hey, what's good, everybody? It's Kellzhits here from YouTube. If you are new here, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. If you are returning, welcome back. We're here today for another official video. It's the first day of the new month, and we got a new slate of games, man. So let's get straight into it. First up, we got the Indiana Pacers versus the Atlanta Hawks. The spread here is at -7. The over-under here is set at 237.5. Atlanta Hawks, unfortunately, are on a 7-game losing streak. They've been looking terrible. Trey Young got another the All-Star this year. I really don't know how. And this is like the second or third year he's been snubbed, which is kind of weird. But I believe they need to make, and they just lost Jalen Johnson for the year too, which is their second best player. But they need to make trades and need to do something different over there anyway, even after giving up DeJounte Murray and the crew. But they've been losing 7 straight and just looking terrible. On the other end, the Pacers have won 4 out of their last 5. They have been rolling. They just got done winning 2 straight, and they just got done dominating their last 2 straight since coming back from Paris. Give me the Pacers here at home on a -7 spread. I believe the Pacers are rolling, and they're going to keep rolling. The Hawks got a lot to figure out going into the All-Star break. Next up, we got the Orlando Magic versus the Utah Jazz. The spread here is at -5, and the over-under here is set at 215.5. The Jazz are on a 8-game losing streak. 8. They just getting killed. I mean, just looking awful. And they all by double digits too. It's not even like they're close games to where it's like, okay, I can understand why you lost that, or I can understand why you lost that. They're just getting killed and they're getting dominated. Unfortunately, Keontae and Lori, they just not enough. They're really young. There's a young team. They got a lot of growing to do. They're just looking for a lottery pick, I can tell. On the other end, you have the Orlando Magic, Paulo Banchero and the crew. They are just 1 out of their last 5, so they have been looking terrible too since he's came back since his injury. But they are going up against the Utah Jazz here, which aren't that good too. Both these teams aren't huge on scoring and haven't been in scoring, especially the Orlando Magic. When they have won, it's all been almost at 100 or just below 100. So give me the under 215 here. This is going to be a low-scoring affair. Next up, we have the Denver Nuggets versus the Charlotte Hornets. The spread here is at -14.5, and the over-under here is set at 222. The Denver Nuggets are on a back-to-back here, and they're on their 4th road game. Now they have lost 3 straight, and the Denver Nuggets haven't even looked close to have the championship team or the team that's been in the Western Conference Finals over the last couple of years at all. On the other end, you have the Charlotte Hornets, who have just been looking horrible as well. They are 1 out of their last 5. LaMelo Ball got snubbed up All-Star this year, which nobody understands. There's no point of fan voting if the fans voting won't count. Like, if you're going to have fan votes, you have to put in who the fans vote for. That's who we want to see. That's who we want to see in the All-Star game. It's a boring All-Star game and a boring lineup. It's sad to see. And this is why the viewership is down. They keep complaining why the viewership is down. This is why. You don't do what the fans want, but you want fan voting. That doesn't make any sense to me. But the Charlotte Hornets have been looking terrible, whether they're home or on the road. So give me the Denver Nuggets -14.5 here. The Nuggets lost 3 straight, but they're looking to get back on track instantly as they need to badly going into the All-Star break. Next up, we have the Houston Rockets versus the Brooklyn Nets. The spread here is at -15, and the over-under is set at 217. The Nets are 1 out of their last 5, and they lost by 20. They did win by 20 against the Charlotte Hornets, but other than that, they have been getting killed by 20, or they've been losing by double digits. The Brooklyn Nets, they honestly don't even care about winning basketball, let alone team basketball. It's just been a train wreck over there. On the other end, we have the Houston Rockets, who are the 2nd best team in the West, who have shocked everybody this year. And Amen Thompson been looking great. They just have been looking like a well-oiled machine over there in Houston, and they have been winning nonstop. Now, I have said before that the regular season doesn't matter. It's just as much as the playoffs. Playoffs is a whole different animal, and regular seasons won't matter once you get to the postseason where people actually care. So this is a young Houston team that is winning, but what will you do in the postseason? And that's what I really want to see. But let alone right now, they're hot, they're on fire, they're winning, and they're looking good. So give me the Houston Rockets -15 here. And I don't think they're going to slow down right now, as they have won 4 out of their last 5. Next up, give me the Washington Wizards versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. The spread here is at -17, and the over-under here is set at 221.5. Man, do not get me started on Washington. They are now heading towards their 20th straight loss. They own 18 right now. I believe this is going to be 19 without a doubt, and then they're going to hit 20. It's sad to see what's going on over there in Washington. I mean, Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole and them, they just look awful. I don't even know how to even selling tickets. I ain't gonna lie. On the other end, the Timberwolves are on a 5-game winning streak. They have been looking good. They have changed it around in Minnesota. Anthony Edwards is balling. Julius is balling. Everybody is playing as a team, and they are looking comfortable in Minnesota, whether they are on the road or at home. They look good. I don't think the Washington Wizards are going to cover any spread. As it doesn't matter who they play, whether they're playing a team that's worse than them or not. They just don't even cover or even come close to winning. They just out there shooting threes and just jacking up shots and playing whatever. You may give me the Minnesota Timberwolves minus 17 here at home, as well as no point in wasting no time or money on Washington. No time soon. Next up, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Sacramento Kings. The spread here is at minus 9.5, and the over-under here is set at 232. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they're 3 out of their last 5. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the league MVP, who I think is going to win MVP as well, just dropped his career high 52 points last game. Boy, it was unstoppable. Unfortunately, they lost that game, but it was special to watch him play and watch him put up them buckets. They lost to Chef Curry and them boys, and they was actually a heavy favorite in that game. They was actually like minus 8.5, minus 9 favorite in that game, and they lost outright. So that was unfortunate to see. But Shea went off. Warriors was just hot, I believe. They just couldn't miss a shot, honestly. On the other end, we had the Sacramento Kings, who are 2 out of their last 5. They just lost, and they're losing by double digits. They just lost their last 3 games, which they lost by double digits. They are on they're on their 5th away game here, so I believe that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to bounce back from their loss against Golden State and cover their spread. Give me the Oklahoma City Thunder minus 9.5 at home. Next up, we have the New York Knicks versus the Los Angeles Lakers. The spread here is at minus 9.5, and the over-under here is set at 226.5. The Knicks are on a 5-game winning streak. 5 games. The New York Knicks are rolling. They don't look or sound like the trash team of old or the trash team that they've had over the last couple of years. Honestly, the trade for Karl-Anthony Towns has been a world difference for them, which is crazy to see because I didn't think that trade was smart at all. I didn't like it, but it's clearly worked in New York, and New York looks good. They actually have won 4 straight at home, so they've been loving playing at home. They've been rolling at home. The home crowd's been loving it, but they've been winning, period. On the other end, you have the Los Angeles Lakers, who have won 4 out of their last 5 games and have found their groove lately, as they just got done blowing out the worst team in the league, Washington Wizards, by 40 points. You saw Bronny get in there. Bronny got some buckets. I know LeBron was happy about that, seeing his son get in there, get some minutes, get some garbage time minutes in there, and get an and 1. Ooh. But I think with both these teams, they haven't been playing any defense lately, and they both have been in very, very high scoring games, especially the New York Knicks scoring over 130, 140 points over their last 3 games. And with the Los Angeles Lakers scoring 138 last game, give me the over 226.5 here, as I think it's going to be a really high scoring game and a fun one at that. It's going to be on ESPN/ABC, so it's going to be a primetime game for the night. Next up, give me the Miami Heat versus the San Antonio Spurs. The spread here is at -1, and the over-under here is set at 225. The Spurs are on a back-to-back here. They have, honestly, since the trade talk, and since the fight with Wemby that Wemby just had, the team have been playing much, much harder. I don't know if they needed a spark, or I don't know if somebody touching Wemby is pissed them off because that's their franchise player, but they have been playing harder, and they had just got done winning their last game. And they are even though they're on a back-to-back, they are covering their spreads and have been covering their spreads as of lately as well. On the other hand, you have the Miami Heat, who are 2 out of their last 5 and have been looking like a train wreck because of the Jimmy Butler situation. They need to trade him. They need to get him out of there. They need to do something, because him hovering over their team, hovering over their situation, is making them worse, and this was making them lose, which is why they're only 2 out of their last 5 and not looking like a good team or a top team in the East. In this one, Give me the Spurs at home, even they're on a back-to-back. Give me the Spurs to cover this +1 spread. Give me them on a money line as well. +1 money line, same thing. Next up, we have the Phoenix Suns versus the Portland Trail Blazers. It's the last game of the night. We got the Phoenix Suns. Suns are spread here at -3, and the over/under here is set at 227.5. The Phoenix Suns are 3 out of their last 5, and the Blazers are 4 out of their last 5. The Portland Trail Blazers, one of the worst teams in the league, 4 out of their last 5, and they have been rolling. The Portland Trail Blazers have been looking like a team that's supposed to be good, but just not. They're really young. I like Anthony Simons. I like their team. I like Shaden Sharp. I like what their direction that they're going into, but they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league for at least the next 2 years minimum. But they're growing and looking good over the last 5 games. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker over there in Phoenix. Even though they lost to Minnesota, they still have more work to do than that Minnesota loss. I don't think Kevin Durant and Devin Booker together are enough. They need to make another trade. I do like the Jimmy Butler trade for Bradley Beal, even though I do like Bradley Beal, but he hasn't been looking good in Phoenix at all. So give me the Portland Trailblazers +3 here, as I don't trust the Phoenix Suns to cover a spread or win a game, as they haven't been lately. And I think that the Portland Trailblazers, which they have with them winning and looking good, whether if it's on the road or at home over these last 5 games, I would ride that out until it dies again, which it will be soon. But right now, they're hot. So give me the Portland Trailblazers +3 at home. Again, if you are new here, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment of your choice. I appreciate all comments. If you're returning, thank you again for watching. I'll be back soon.